IVM.
So it's been another great week at IVM Podcast, and if you aren't following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the major social media networks. This week on the Pragati Podcast, Pawan and Hamsini talk to economist Anupam Manur about how India is tackling creating new jobs. On the Pulyabazi show, tune into part 2 of Pranay's interview with China expert Manoj Keval Ramani. On Simplified in a Shorty, Shrikesh, Chuck and Naren give interesting tidbits about the qualifying round of the 2018 World Cup. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus has a conversation with friend of the network Vivek Kaul about the economy. On Who's Your Mommy, Veda and her friends discuss the strange and disturbing questions they've been asked by their kids. On Keeping It Queer, Naveen talks to non-binary Instagram sensation Diane Rebello. On Varta Lab last week, Akash and Naveen exchanged some hilarious stories with Balraj Ghai, owner of the Hotel Intercontinental and The Habitat. And with that, let me get you on to your shows.
Hello and welcome to the Geek Fruit Bulletin, where we discuss some news and some things that are not the news. Did I say not the news?
Not of the news.
They're not of the news because they're not the news.
You're right.
Yes, this is a bulletin where we don't do retakes, so we leave the mistakes in.
As opposed to the other amazing corrections that we have during the episodes.
That's true. If you listen to our full episodes, which are out every week on Mondays, you will find them perfect and mistakeless, much like Conan O'Brien's shows.
Correct. Yes.
So, I have some news and not news to discuss, Tejas.
Hit me.
Here's a news that is...
a news, you say?
It's a news that is pretty much at, rumor stage at this point. I mean, it's confirmed, but there's so little we know that it's kind of pointless. So let's talk about it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I did read this.
There's going to be a new movie.
So, here's 8 reasons why I'm... well, I can give you 4 reasons why I'm excited.
Yeah.
Leonardo Donatello. Michelangelo.
Isn't Donatello the guy who does machines? Donatello does machines.
He's a geek and he does... What was the line before that?
Donatello does machines.
No, Donatello does... Okay, there's something else.
Raphael is cool but rude. Michelangelo is a party dude.
And then Chuck Lorre.
Chuck Lorre. Who wrote that theme song? Another great... I feel like the killer song should have been Coming Out of My Shell and I'm Doing Just Fine.
What was that?
That's the Mr. Brightside. Except
that's Coming Out of My Cage.
No, it's Coming Out of My Shell. Coming out of my shell. It could be in the new movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how the movie should end.
A Killer's only soundtrack for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? It's cool. But it would have to be set in Las Vegas then.
Of course. Do you think they named themselves the Killers just so they could be like, that's a Killer song?
No, there was a fake I know the reason why they're called the Killers.
Why?
It's because they were making a music video in college, or they liked a music video in college. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. It's a famous band like Depeche Mode, something like that. Anyway, and there's a fake band in the music video, and on the kit it was written The Killers. And I think I may be making this up.
So that's our discussion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
But I'm excited.
I'm glad actually, because those the Michael Bay movies are quite nonsense.
However, Michael Bay is producing these films as well.
Is he?
But he's also producing...
my article just says there's a writer attached and that's it.
Oh.
It doesn't mention Michael Bay.
Because I was about to say that's not entirely a terrible thing, because he's also producing the new Bumblebee movie, and that trailer doesn't look terrible. He's not directing it though.
Bumblebee movie is the sequel to the Bee movie, correct?
That's
by
what
Jerry
said. Yes, correct.
Why is there a Bumblebee movie?
It doesn't look terrible. It's it's set like it's like a prequel kind of movie, and it's about how he came to Earth.
So how many movies into the Transformers franchise are we?
4 movies into
That's it?
Yeah, that's not bad.
It feels like most of my life.
Yeah.
Except I've never seen them. How can you hate something you haven't watched?
Yeah, Michael Bay.
Michael Bay is the answer.
Yeah,
that's
so.
fine.
But I'm excited for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing.
I know.
But there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot cartoon on Nickelodeon. The first series was really good, and the reboot looks pretty good as well. It's got a really good cast. Ben Schwartz is in it.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's I'm looking forward to that as well. And it's a nice new design and look and stuff.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty cool.
So cool. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're great.
They are heroes in a half shell. Not a full one.
I always thought it was heroes in a hard shell.
Heroes in a hard shell.
Actually, maybe it is. That makes way more sense. No,
shells have to be hard. That's the definition. It's supposed to protect something.
No,
it's
you can have a soft shell.
This is true. If you cook it.
Yeah. All right. Our next piece of news concerns the Star Wars universe. Okay. It's rumor time.
Before this,
Yeah.
did you read the tweet that is breaking the internet today?
No.
The The Last Jedi? Remake The Last Jedi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah, a Twitter account appeared out of nowhere today and got 10,000 retweets and stuff like that. But basically, it's saying in this very tiny thread saying that we have got investors. It's this ragtag group of people who want to remake The Last Jedi in their image, which is that of a douchebag.
Yeah.
They basically have found, I'm air quoting here, investors to back them up. Now they just need the rights from Disney and Bob Iger to recreate the movie.
Why would Disney do that?
Of course. And so Seth Rogen is the only person who questioned these people. It's so funny. He's just like, wait, just explain to me, how are you going to do this when it has had no historical precedent ever before to remake a movie 6 months after it came out and get all the actors on board? He's like, how are you going to do this? He's like, and then he's like, okay, cool. So from what I've gathered, you don't have investors. You're just not doing this right. So it's pretty funny.
It's ridiculous.
And Ryan Johnson also went on to retweet it with the comment saying, please let this happen. Which is amazing.
That's going to be amazing.
But go ahead.
My piece of news also was a slightly odd piece of news from the Star Wars universe. They're saying that they might can all of the Star Wars spin-offs, including, unfortunately, the Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off.
So it's not been announced, so they can't.
No, this is rumor. This is the north of the news part of our show.
No, but this I did hear several rumors about the same thing, and what it seems like is what DC did when BVS kind of got terrible reviews, etc.
Or what Universal did when the Dark Universe turned up.
Correct. They just scrapped
never
it.
happened.
I think no, but what I heard is that they're just focusing all their efforts on episode 9, and that's the right thing to do.
It's absolutely the right thing to do.
But it's also kind of scary that even Star Wars is I would
be fine with them doing more movies in the universe, but just hit pause for a while, rethink your approach. Maybe don't do.
Or here's the answer: just do the Obi-Wan film, get everybody back on board. And then continue with your life.
Get Evan McGregor on, that'll be a great movie.
Man, that's what I was telling Jishnu also. I think Rogue One, Solo, and an Obi-Wan film would form its own kind of trilogy
of sorts.
And then they would have their Infinity War where all the characters kind of... Well, it's impossible for Solo, but some of the characters from Solo can meet... like Kira and Darth Maul, etc.
None of the characters from Rogue One can do anything, though.
It could be a prequel to that.
Oh, yeah, true. But then they can't meet, correct?
They can meet.
Actually, yeah, they could.
Yeah,
I don't see why not.
Yeah, Mon Mothma, you can have so many people. Critic, etc.
That'd be interesting.
DV is my boy.
I mean, what they should really just do is remake The Last Jedi. If only we had some investors.
if only there was a sizable following for a Twitter account.
Yeah. I mean, Toto covered Africa because of a Twitter account.
Visa.
Visa. Toto wrote Africa.
They did.
Yeah.
Toto invented Africa.
They invented Africa.
Did you know this? It only started raining in Africa after that song was released.
That's true, never rained. Because Toto blessed them.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Did you see what they did though? They covered Roseanne before they covered which is the greatest troll ever. Oh man,
which is basically Weezer's entire existence at this point. Speaking of the greatest trolls ever, and I mean Star Wars fans, have you heard of John Travolta's new movie Gotti?
Yeah, but apparently it's under some kind of controversy, right? What was it?
Yes, it's gotten a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 0.
Has that happened before?
I think, I'm sure there's some that have a 0.
Right.
But it's got a 77% in the audience ratings.
Oh, wow, that's insane.
So, that was insane already. And we've talked about the disparity between audience and critics before. But this is pretty ridiculous.
This is, I think, is the movie so bad? Is it destined to be the next The Room?
Maybe it's that bad.
It can't be that.
Here's the real controversy, though. Those audience reviews... a Reddit user dug into them and they're clearly fake.
Oh no.
A lot of the accounts were started about 4 months ago.
That's probably
a lot of them have
PR.
only reviewed this and another movie called Animals something. And he was like, I don't know why they would review that movie and this movie. The connection is both these are funded by MoviePass, which is that super shady ticketing service.
Right, like a Fandango, basically.
Yeah. No, Movie Pass basically says pay us $30 and you can watch a movie a day for the rest of your life. Or
That
like
is $30 well spent.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous because the theaters are like basically their business model is they buy the tickets from the theaters and subsidize them, and then at some point they hope to go like, hey, everyone uses us, now someone pay us.
So Movie Pass is the equivalent of the 90s Das Kabhi, Das Kabhi, Das Kabhi.
Exactly. They're black marketers who are underselling.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is a thing.
How bizarre.
So bizarre.
And also John Travolta. I think John Travolta is a fine individual, but he's not been having a good run in his life. Late career.
What is his late career?
So his late career has involved him being part of a pop culture mishap in 2016, which is that he pronounced Idina Menzel's name as
of course.
something unintelligible.
What was it?
I can't remember.
My god, it was the best clip.
It was like Iggy Azalea or something. It was amazing.
Oh my god.
It was just terrible.
Let me find that clip. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and then they brought him back to say her name again the next year in the Golden Globes, I want to say. And it was not funny. It was just sad. And from that point onwards, I've just seen John Travolta as a sad figure.
Alright, the name was Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Oh god.
I'm going to play it for us because it's hilarious.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem. Unbelievable.
How can you introduce her like the wickedly talented and, build it up?
Wickedly talented.
And then just go into Adele Dazeem.
Oh, poor
That's
guy.
not even
maybe
Menzel.
he wasn't wearing glasses and he couldn't read the teleprompter or something, but Adele
God.
Dazeem
Also,
is so many miles away from Idina Menzel.
It's not even anagrammable.
Yeah. So John Travolta has not been having good run.
Man.
What is the last movie he was in?
Grease 2? No, but I just think what has he been doing? Oh, he did the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It was the last one.
Wasn't that like
it was a while
decade ago?
Yes.
I'm sure he's done other stuff since then. We just don't notice it.
But that's my point. He's not been part of anything like good.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just been, a series of like feet in mouths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy.
Scientologist.
He just needs to but he needs to just chill out, man. And just
didn't he make that? Wasn't it him who made the terrible Scientology movie Battlefield Earth?
Yes,
which also probably has a 0% rating.
Yeah. But man, I was watching the Scientology documentary on Netflix.
Going Clear?
Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. Wow.
So creepy.
That is an insane. You guys got to check that out. It's a really, really good documentary.
I met a Scientologist at a Delhi book fair, and by a Scientologist I mean I went to a Scientology booth where they were convincing people to sign up.
Ah, that's what they do, though.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a thing here, though. It was creepy as shit. I mean, it actually wasn't. If it wasn't for the fact that I knew they were Scientologists, because they don't say Scientology. They talk about eugenics, and they talk about how there are like electrical signals that can tell you if you're stressed. Which, if you're just walking around in a science fair, sounds like, sure, I'll try that out. And they hook you up to a machine, and they go like, oh, your electrical signals are off the chart. You're stressed. You should sign up. Here's a book by L. Ron Hubbard. Now, if I didn't know who L. Ron Hubbard was and how creepy Scientology is,
I'd just be like an author.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like it's like any recruitment stall that you see. Like,
Correct.
oh, why don't you do mindfulness and whatnot? So yeah,
the Scientologists are aware that their reputation is not the greatest, and I think they just they have to find a way to reach people.
That's true, and I mean, it's essentially a propaganda organization.
Well, this remake, The Last Jedi, just proves that they're religious fundamentalists for anything, man.
For anything,
yeah.
Yes.
So there's really no avoiding
In
it.
Scientology's case, however, they're all super rich Hollywood stars.
They're also that.
It's really odd.
Is Seinfeld still Scientologist?
Seinfeld was never a Scientologist. Seinfeld is the most Jewish person you'll find.
This is true, yeah. Well, who was I
You're thinking of Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Cruise, of course, I know is.
There's a lot of ones you wouldn't expect. Will Smith flirted with it at one point.
But Will Smith, I mean, that's the thing. When you get to that level of power and, stardom, you're just like, sure, why not?
Why not? But, I mean, it's weird because I think Will Smith should start his own religion.
Yeah.
And, I mean, because we are in the new millennium anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if L. Ron Hubbard can start a religion, Will Smith can start a religion.
This is true.
If Beyonce can start a kingdom, Will Smith can start a religion.
Yeah, but that last album I heard is quite terrible.
He has a last album?
No, I'm not talking about Will Smith. I'm talking about Beyonce.
You mean the Carter's album?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was okay.
I heard it was bad. I've not listened to it yet.
I've listened to a couple tracks. It's good, but it's not great.
Is it ape shit?
I don't know. I've never seen. I mean, the chorus of that song is, "Have you ever seen a crowd going apeshit?" And I was like, unfortunately, no. And I perform for a living.
Mild applause is what
Mild applause, yes.
All right, cool. I think that's our episode.
This is our episode. You can check out more Geek Fruit. We have a full episode, like I mentioned earlier in this episode.
This week's about...
Movie sequels?
Yes, it is about movie sequels.
I heard.
And it's a sequel to our previous episode.
About movie sequels.
Yeah.
So we started a franchise within our show. And
we've started several franchises within this show.
And I wasn't invited to this. So maybe I can come back in the third one and everybody will be like, whoa, original cast member returning.
Yeah, but you'll only be there in the beginning and the end of the film. Like Jurassic World.
That's true. Yeah, I'll be the Jeff Goldblum of the piece. I am fine with that.
Yeah. Okay.
This has been the Geek Fruit Bulletin.
He bends down to test the warm water for his bath. He comes here to quench his thirst for a hot shower and some podcasts. You can witness how he enjoys having other people talk about cool stuff in his bathroom. Indeed, it helps him with his loneliness. You can find more of his pieces on ivmpodcast.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.